all across CNY. It's the 315. Here's Brian Higgins.
Yes, sir, it is. As we're back on the show, on this hour brought to you by Best Buy Auto Sales. Rolling along here on this Wednesday, which means we're 2 days out from the Syracuse football spring game, 7 o'clock Friday night inside the Dome. The game is free, but you need a ticket. So, don't forget that, Cuse.com/tickets. You got to go and do the thing, get a ticket so you can get in. So if you want to go Friday, do that now before you forget. And you get there and you got to do a whole thing and stand in line and download the thing on your phone, and everyone's annoyed at you. Just avoid the hassle and go get one of them now. I'll tell you who you can watch on Friday, and then they do a little meet and greet after, so you can both meet and greet our next guest. He is one of the captains of the 2023 upcoming Syracuse football team. He is Justin Barron. Justin, welcome in, and congrats on the captain gig. That must have been pretty cool to find that out from Coach a couple weeks ago.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Awesome. Thank you.
Take me through that. Dino, I feel he's done different things on different years is how he's done captains. A lot of times he's done, like game captains for the first half of the years and named his guy as late in the year. I don't recall him ever doing it as early as he did this year with yourself and Marlo and Garrett Schrader. How was the news dispensed, and how did that hit you?
We actually won two meetings, and then we learned after we were voted. And like you're saying before, I was here for that he's done it. This is my first time. This is my first time he's done it in the spring too. So before the spring game.
So that he was able to, and apologize, I think I was sending yourself back to you, Justin, which was probably screwing you up. So that is taken care of. My apologies there. But that has a way of messing with your head when you're not expecting it. But you're named the captain. He always has an offensive guy, defensive guy. You are a defensive guy, but for those that don't know, you are the holder. So I would imagine you are technically the captain of the special team. So what's that like for a safety to roll in there? And, hey, you're speaking for the kickers and the punters and the long snappers and that whole group.
It's different for sure, but it's something that it's not like those are only guys who play special teams too. So it's all the positional guys, kickoff, kick return, punt, punt return, and it's just cool being able to use my voice now, right? Learning from the older guys from the years before how to develop that leadership and really take that role.
What does that do to you now? Because as you said, it is different. He hasn't done it in the spring, so now. There's always guys that step up in a leadership role over the summer, and it occurs naturally. Usually those guys eventually become captains. But to have that role going into the offseason, going into your summer workouts and the time where you'll be away from the coaches, what position does that put you in to be the guy that, Coach Babers has said, all right, you take the mantle, get things organized, and run with it here until we see you guys again in August?
Yeah, it's the role I really assumed is I'm a guy that people look to now for what to do, when to do it, how to do their job. And that's something that I take a lot of pride in, being able to help the younger guys, help guys who don't know what they're doing every snap, and use what I've learned from Coach Ligg and just everyone who's played before me and help them learn too.
You mentioned, Bob Ligashevsky. He joined the team last year as the special teams coach. What did he add to the unit on that side of things? Obviously, Andre Schmidt had an excellent season. It felt like things all across the board kind of re-tightened back up to where Syracuse was used to being on special teams.
He added a lot of energy and experience, to say the least. Coach Ligg's a fiery dude. He'll never yell at you, but he's got a lot of energy, whether it's 6 a.m. in the meeting room or one of the last periods of practice. If we're doing special teams again, he's going to have the same energy and the same attitude about everything we do. And it's helpful for us because he talks about how important special teams is all the time, and field position and stuff like that, how it really affects the game.
Justin Barron is our guest, one of the captains for this Orange football team, one of the defensive backs. He's the holder on special teams. And speaking of new coaches, how was your new defensive coordinator? Rocky Long comes in with a long career, a lot of accolades, and the defense you guys are playing, like he's the one that figured it out, and now he's here to tell you what he thinks about it. So what's it been like to learn from him for the last few months?
He's awesome. Really just getting the knowledge is what I've been trying to do. From all the experiences he's had in games with different teams, and really creating defense is helping me understand it through and through, the ins and outs of it, why people are doing what they're doing, when they're doing it, and really just the why behind everything is really important for me, and really the whole defense is new learning of the defense.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine anyone has a better answer of the why than the guy that figured out the why in the first place of why they're doing it, right? Like, if you go to some guy, you might as well go to the guy. Yeah, I know why they're doing it. I was the one that came up with the idea, right?
Absolutely.
So he comes in. Tony White was the previous defensive coordinator, and here's Rocky Long. What are similarities, differences in Rocky's style, or differences from Tony in the way they go about it, in the way that they coach you up?
It's really funny, actually, you asked, because the first thing that both of them said when they got here is effort. It's the biggest thing they preach: effort, running to the ball, playing with that tenacity that it's not really given to you, right? You got to put that effort in to run to the ball all 11 all the time. And I'd say that's the biggest similarity between them, right? That's not something that a lot of defenses preach. And that being the first point that they both bring up it's kind of ironic. Then we talk about differences. It's just, obviously they have different calls, different verbiage for everything, I would say. That's the biggest difference, really, because if Coach White learned defense from Coach Long, the verbiage is going to be different. Maybe he had his own little tweaks and stuff like that.
Yeah, how much learning do you have to do? I mean, it's in one way a defense you already know, right? But at the same time, it is slightly different. So how was the learning different now, I guess, than when you had to learn it the first time when Tony White came in?
Just the rules of what Coach Long expects us to do, right? The verbiage, again, like I said, is different from before. So that took a little time at first, especially for all the old guys, more so than new guys. For the new guys, it was just like learn something new. For us, it's kind of erasing that memory of what we had and installing the new defense.
Justin Barron is our guest. We're talking to Justin ahead of the spring football game, which will be Friday night, 7 o'clock inside the Dome. And Justin, you'll be flashing your swaggy new digit. You've got the number 8 on this year, inherited it from Garrett Williams. We'll be hearing his name called in the draft next week. Fun for you to get one of those single digits? What does that mean to a guy like you?
Absolutely. It's obviously something that I've been wanted since I first committed here. I remember wearing number 8 in my official visit, my unofficial visit photos too. And more importantly, it means a lot to me to have a number that, like, a guy that Garrett wore, right? Garrett's one of my best friends. He was my roommate. And to have that number passed down from him to me, especially at DB position, it means a lot to me.
And, we'll hear his name coming up next week, probably Friday, maybe a Saturday, depending how it goes for Garrett. How important are those single digits amongst the team? Is that like, I don't want to use the term fight, but is that like significant talk in the locker room? Like, oh, you're getting the 8 here this year. Is that something that comes up?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to come by, and Coach Babers doesn't give them out easy. So when you get the chance to get one, it's really important.
You mentioned Garrett. Obviously wore it last year. Unfortunately, not for as many games as we would have liked, as he got hurt midway through the season, and he's recovering from the ACL. What do you guys have planned for the draft next week to watch your guys? How exciting will it be to hear Garrett's name called, or Matthew Bergeron, or Sean Tucker, or Michael Jones if it comes?
It's going to be awesome. Actually, I'm going down to Garrett's draft party, his little get-together with his family, me and Marlo. So that'll be fun for us, obviously. We wish we could go to every single one of theirs, but Garrett was the closest for us to get back in time for workouts and lift.
Okay, so what does the Garrett have planned here? What's going on at the Garrett draft party?
I don't know. I think it's just going to be a surprise for all of us.
All right, yeah, I'd say the other ones, like with Bergeron, you have to go to another country. That's the whole thing. So there's a lot going on. We expect to hear his name probably called first on Friday. Then we'll see where Garrett Williams goes, or Sean Tucker. Hopefully Michael gets his name called at some point. But Justin Barron is our guest here, one of the captains of the Syracuse football team. You're wrapping up spring ball, getting into the spring game on Friday. All right, Justin, give me some names that, spring's often a time where younger guys get to work in. You get to see a lot more from guys. Give me a couple names that you saw pop this spring that the Orange football fan might not be as familiar with right now.
Let's see. Caden Bailey, obviously you guys saw in the bowl game, but just seeing the steps that he's taken to improve his game and be consistent and really be the voice of the defense with all our other backers out. It's been really cool to see him. Isaiah Johnson's been having a great spring, the corner. And the guy on offense who has just been really showing us what he can do is Justin Lamson. Seeing him get back healthy, really, and doing what he does best, make plays, distribute the ball through the air to all our receivers. It's cool to see.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Justin, because obviously he played well in the spring last year and got hurt right at the end, and it cost him the entire season. You know, you practice against Garrett Schrader all the time. You know his style. Justin's style is very different. What is it like to play against a Justin Lamson in practice day in, day out?
Well, it's just like you said, it's very different, right? Justin's going to pick you apart. He's going to recognize your coverage pre-snap, recognize the movement, and really study you, right? Right after practice, he's going to go up and watch film to see what we were doing, see how they could attack us next day. Stuff like that is really important, especially as a quarterback at this level.
Yeah, not that you want your starting quarterback to be out. Obviously, Garrett Schrader missed spring ball, but what kind of opportunity is that for a guy like Lamson or Carlos Del Rio Wilson or these other guys to get, added reps working with the ones at the quarterback spot?
It's a big opportunity for them, right? To show Coach Beck, show the offense, show everyone really what they can do, and how successful they can be.
And give us a peek here at the offense. Obviously, it's the similar deal to what you guys are dealing with on defense. It's a new coordinator, but coming from the same system. I mean, literally, Jason Beck was here last year as the quarterback coach. What similarities or differences did you notice about the style the offense was playing this spring from what we watched on the field last year?
It's very well versed. It's diverse. They're not really just focusing on running the ball or throwing the ball one-on-one. They're mixing a little bit of everything, right? Trying to figure out what works for them, what they're going to be good at this year, and really just how they're going to be successful.
And we'll get to see you guys on the field in the Dome Friday night at 7 o'clock. All right, if an Orange football fan comes out to the event on Friday night, what should they expect to see from you guys?
A lot of fun. This team plays with a lot of emotion, a lot of character. Everyone's flying around, and you got 22 guys out there on the field at all times who love the game.
All right, Justin, thanks so much for hopping on here for a few minutes today. Congrats again on being named captain, and enjoy it out there on Friday.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
That is Justin Barron, one of the 3 Orange football captains as named so far by Coach Babers, now wearing the swaggy number 8. As mentioned, Garrett Schrader, Marla Wax, and Justin Barron are the 3 captains now. Dino said he plans on having a total of 6, so he's kind of a little different approach to how captain stuff works this year for Dino than he has done it in the past. He's kind of, every year's been a little different. Every year's been a little different in the old captain department for Dino. So the first time there have been captains named this early. I don't know what that changes long term, but always interesting to see when a coach has been there for a while, does a little tweak, coming up with something new. Again, the spring football game is Friday night at 7 o'clock. What you're actually going to see football-wise, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to see a whole lot of, earth-shattering football stuff. We'll see what Dino lets them toss out there. But always fun. Like, it's your chance that you can get down on the field after, get some pictures and autographs, chat with the players, all that stuff. So it's an opportunity for that. And it's free. What's better than free? All right, we'll hit a break. We'll hear a little bit from one Dino Babers, what he said earlier this week about what you can see if you go to that thing on Friday night. You can talk about that. You can talk about something else as well. Phone lines open at 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. Thanks to Justin Barron for joining us. Our next guest will come up in the next hour. Charlotte Carroll talking New York Football Giants is later on in the program today as well. With that, we'll step aside. Much more to come when we come back. Right after this, it is QSportsTalk.com, ESPN Radio.